Hey guys, Jared James here, and welcome to your May 21st edition of the virtual coaching training for this week. Psyched to be back. I think Michelle did an awesome job last week just kind of breaking down with you guys how to actually create your YouTube channel and how to create those different sections and all that kind of stuff. And that's going to lead me into what I'm going to do today, which is how to actually find the content that you're going to create, because a lot of us run out of ideas. But first off, as I always say, guys, if you have questions, you can in our Facebook group, Jared James Coaching. If you haven't joined yet, go post your questions there and we will answer them right away. As always, connect with me. You can go to connectwithjared.com, connect on Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat and YouTube and these kinds of places. You're going to want to make sure that you're doing that stuff. Last thing I want to mention before we get going, this is your last chance to join the mastermind in June 11th and June 12th. For those of you, there's a couple spots left and that's it. So if you're thinking about it, you've been on the fence, get off the fence. It's the greatest thing you're going to do for your business if you ultimately want to learn how to actually run the business and stop letting it run you, okay? So apply for that really soon here because we're about to close that out. But today what I want to talk about is what I've been trying to do with these virtual broadcasts is, you know, make sure we have some fluency as far as like we're covering something but then go into a little bit more detail. And today is no different. A few weeks ago I had talked about the importance for video content. I talked about how, even at the Advance I talked about this, how, you know, the agent in your office, the #1 agent in 2019 is building their library right now. When you look at how search is done, over 80% of Google will be video search. Facebook's going all video. YouTube, the second largest, most searched site on the internet, is all video. Like, it doesn't matter whether you like it or not. All that matters is you being visible and how people are finding you, right? And so video matters. You need to be building your library right now. And so last week, Michelle broke into how do you actually create? Like, how do you create your YouTube channel? How do you not just have one, but make it viable? Like, make it stuff that is interesting and valuable to your clients so that they can go on there just like ours. And she showed you I've got keynotes and quick hits and trainings and all different things, so it's categorized so you know exactly where to go, giving you a good user experience, a good consumer experience. But now the question becomes, because a lot of you saw that and you're going, okay, well, where do I come up with content? Like, outside of I did an open house tour, or I did a new listing tour, or I did whatever, where do I come up with content? And so I'm going to cover with you 4 different ways that you come up with content on a regular basis, okay? The first way is just the usuals, right? The usual suspects. You need to have a video on there that talks about things like, you know, how to find a good realtor. That obviously needs to be. You need to find stuff on there that's community related, and community by yourself, but then also community when it comes to, you know, using those people around you, those business owners, giving away business, what do you call it, gift cards and stuff with community owners, and, you know, doing reviews on their businesses and those kinds of things. Those are the ones that you obviously have to do. 3 ways to get blank number more for your house when you sell. Make some kind of a number that's odd, a 9887. You know, 3 ways to get $9,887 more for your house, and have a reason why it's that amount and what the average amount that it goes up when you do these 3 things are. That actually grabs people's attention. That's called Internet Marketing 101. 3 mistakes that people make when buying a home. 4 things to look for when doing a home inspection. 2 questions to ask before hiring an inspector. These are just kind of like the normal things that you need to do that are just regular videos that, you know, people are going to search, they're going to consume. You want to make sure that your YouTube channel has those kinds of items, those kinds of videos there, okay? That's number 1. Number 2, all of those hashtags that I gave you, which you want to be using on Instagram and other places for, you know, getting those buyers and sellers in your area, because you know that they're searching those hashtags, things like your city, real estate, your state/province, province, real estate, your city, real estate, all of those hashtags, just hashtag real estate in general. You want to be going and searching those, because when you go and search those, what do you see? Other videos from other people on items or on topics that they're interested in, okay? So you want to make sure that you're looking at those, because you might get an idea from someone else where you're like, oh, that's great, that's what I should be doing, or that's how you find info. Next one. You want to be keeping current on both the national and the local news. If something happens locally that matters in your area, you should be covering it. No difference than when the Fed rate is hiked or it's lowered or it's whatever. I usually cover that and put that on there. You want to be covering things that are relevant, right? If there's something to do with an ordinance that was passed or wasn't passed or whatever in your area, and it's something that matters in your area, and a lot of times you can get those by watching the local news, by keeping track of what's going on locally, you should cover that, right? That's another thing you should be doing. What about, and this is the fourth one, and this is probably the #1 way that you're going to be getting content on a regular basis, because I know a lot of you worry about what to do for content, and that's just keeping track of your emails and your text messages and the questions and the issues that people are facing. The #1 way that you will create content is by actually keeping track of it when it comes up, meaning people ask you questions. Whatever the questions are that people are asking you, that is content. Like, how do you think we do the stuff for the Jared James Today Show? You guys ask questions on a regular basis, and then I keep track of it. Now, how do you keep track of it? You can have an app on your phone. Like, I've got an app on my phone for reminders. We've got an app. We use also Google Docs, so that I can be sharing it with my office back and forth. If you have somebody in your office you're doing that with, you could use Google Docs as well. But literally the moment you have an idea, the moment you have anything, you should be keeping track of that right away, because it will escape you. You know what though? I'm just gonna get real world with you guys. So you can't see this right now, but if I jump on my phone and I go into the app that I use on here, I actually see on here, because we're launching our podcast this week, I actually see 2 things that I put on here. And I wrote on here, podcast, how to make everything quiet. Podcast, how to deal with stress when there seems to be so much going on. Now, where did these come from? These came from the fact that I put up an Instagram post, and the first one talked about making everything quiet. And it was an Instagram post I did where I said, hey guys, I'm going to let you in on a little secret to my success, which is that I've learned to make everything quiet. As much as you all see me talking and putting quotes out and all that kind of stuff, my secret is I know how to make everything quiet. I know how to quiet the voices. I know how to actually listen to what matters. I know how to actually pay attention to what matters, how to quiet everything so I know what to change. I know how to, and then people started asking me these questions over and over again on Instagram and other places where I get so many DMs, direct messages, where they're going, how do you make it quiet? How do you do that? And I went, I know exactly how I do it, but that's content. So now we're going to create content around that. You see how that works? I got other questions from people who were constantly asking me, you know, they're so stressed, they have so much going on, they have so much whatever, like how do you deal with that? How do you content, okay? I'm literally just listening to the people that I'm trying to engage with, because chances are if that's something that you're asking, they care about as well. And by the way, many people who are dealing with stressful situations and have too much going on don't have time to ask the question. But then they see that video, they see that podcast, and they go, that's me, I need to do that. That's how you get eyeballs, that's how you get ears to listen to you, is by simply listening to your audience and keeping track of it, having a system in place where you listen to questions, you listen to what they say, and you go content, 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 because most of your content is not even going to come from you or your idea or what you thought. You're going to get it from your people, but you have to listen. Okay, guys? I hope that helps you. If you have questions, as I said, post them in our Facebook group, Jared James Coaching. You can also send me a question on Instagram or wherever you want to. Again, connectwithjared.com. Thanks so much, guys. Hope you enjoyed this week's virtual training. I'll talk to you soon.